Hello there! Today I'll be reacting to the metro system of Warsaw because that was recommended. It's not me that just woke up this morning and wanted to check out the metro system in Warsaw. But it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, especially whenever I travel. The first thing that I do is to learn how to go by in the city. And I always, call me weird, but I always have this sensation that I don't know, you go in one place for a week or so, you learn pretty much all there is to learn about how to move in the city, like which bus lines, which tram lines, which metro stops you have to take to go to different places. And then you go back to your country and you forget everything about it. That's just wasted knowledge. I don't know, I always have this impression that I'm learning so much in that week and then it's a wasted knowledge because I would never use that knowledge again. I don't know, I might be weird, but I always think that way. So this is from the channel RMTransit. Let's check it out. This should be the standard for normal cities. Let's watch the video together. Yeah. This is the channel you need to follow.
Warsaw is a normal city, or at least it should be our idea of a normal city. It has big public spaces, a lovely riverfront, bike sharing, and of course a very respectable public transport system. So often
Fortunately, no, there's no status of
Americans think about the default city as being one with no urbanist credentials and probably no urban rail system. Only special very large cities like New York, Chicago, Tokyo, or Paris would be blessed with such nice urbanist spots and urban transportation systems. But a city like Warsaw is a great example of why that's not true, and it provides a great standard that medium-sized cities all over the place can hold themselves to. So let's look at this underappreciated Central European transit city. This video was meant to be about the Warsaw Metro originally, but the more I looked at Warsaw and the more I wrote, the more I realized that what I really wanted to talk about with Warsaw is how it should be seen as a benchmark for a good city around the world. Of course, that means Warsaw is not perfect, and like other great urban centers, it wasn't created overnight. It took decades and decades of passionate advocacy and smart policy to make Warsaw a good city for transit, and thus a good city in general, with what many would consider to be a pretty standard public transit system for a major European center. But one that would probably make most urbanists pretty happy. The city isn't all that big, with around 2 million residents, so it's similar in size to a city like Seattle or Denver.
I mean, 2 million people is pretty
fully
big.
Integrated fares, an extensive tram network, and metros as well as S-trains. And
I'm not really a fan of going by metro whenever I'm traveling. By tram. I always prefer to take the metro. I feel like it's... I don't know why. I always feel like metro is better. What do you prefer? Metro or tram or buses? I feel like buses are always like for long distances, are most suitable for long distances rather than just move around the city.
From my memory, also surprisingly good cycling infrastructure. It's also got a rail link, which I appreciate, to the fabulously named Chopin Airport, and a cross-city regional...
Yes, that's something I love. And yeah, I remember Vienna had that too. That was amazing. Most cities don't have it because most cities don't even have the airport like near the actual city. I still remember when I went to Paris, I had to take a bus that was like 1 hour and 20 minutes. Even from when I went to London, there was I had to change like 3 or 4, like 3 or 4 metros to get to the actual city. That was crazy. Even here in Italy, it's pretty far. Except like in Milan, there's Linate that is already very centric, so you can just take the metro or the train to the center. So it's pretty cool. Most of the times, the airports are pretty far away from the... I mean, probably better, right?
Rail and intercity rail link. The type of thing which advocates like me in the English-speaking world typically fawn over, but which are actually really common in European cities. Of course, Warsaw's most visible form of public transportation are its incredibly famous trams, and there's a ton of interesting stuff that you can see here on that front. Central Europe really is the tram center of the universe. The tram network in Warsaw is—
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've only visited the Czech Republic in Central Europe. Of course, I'm gonna be visiting Poland for sure. I don't know when. I'm too broke right now, probably next year. And I remember that the metro was impossible to take. Like, you couldn't go pretty much anywhere with the metro. You had to take the tram, for sure. I mean,
is over
it was not the other way
120
around.
kilometers long with 25 routes. And here I want to insert Toronto as a comparison. Toronto has 80 kilometers of streetcar tracks and just 9 routes. Something which a lot of people, including myself, argue should be increased so that there can be more routes providing direct point-to-point service from more places in the city, with high frequency, of course. Something which highlights the potential difference in service or frequency between Toronto and Warsaw is that despite having systems which are similar in size, while Toronto has around 250 streetcars, at least after its latest order comes in, Warsaw has over 700 trams. And this is actually a great moment to do a brief interjection and talk about how these different fleets look different and what we can learn from that. Toronto is going to have 250 more or less identical streetcars from a single, or well, 2 manufacturers. Meanwhile, Warsaw has over 10 different models of tram from multiple manufacturers, bought often in tranches of just 30 or 50 trams. And that's actually pretty common around the world for transit, and in particular tram systems. Melbourne, for example, is in the same boat. A unified fleet consisting entirely or mostly of just a single type of vehicle seems to be a modern popular thing in the English-speaking world, and the places that get their expertise from the English-speaking world, because economies of scale and maximum efficiency and all of that. But that approach to designing a fleet is way less resilient. When Toronto realized that its new streetcars had a welding issue and had to be sent off to be fixed, it had to rely on its old, almost retired, different model streetcars to plug the gap. Because a single or 2 models of vehicle in an entire fleet creates a single point of failure. If Toronto realized it had another problem with the streetcars and had to ship them back to Quebec to be fixed, well, that would be a huge problem today, and it might mean streetcar service just needs to be shut down, something which happens with incredibly frustrating frequency in this city. But of course, that's not just limited to Toronto. In DC, whose metro fleet has become more and more homogeneous with time, the newest model of metro train they have was discovered to have a problem. And because it made up such a huge portion of their fleet, well, service had to be massively cut back for months upon months as trains were repaired. Now, the main downside of Warsaw's tram system is that, like other Central European tram systems from Budapest to Prague, the system feels old in its infrastructure and its vehicles, and aesthetically it's not going to win any competitions with Paris. Coupling up high-floor trams is cool, but it's starting to feel a bit old. Fortunately though, Warsaw is addressing this. It's recently—
As long as they take you where you need to go, I guess it's fine, whatever if they're old.
They ordered a new fleet of modern-looking trams from none other than Hyundai Rotem, and that
Should come to Italy and see what the fuck. Whenever I have to go to Turin or Milan, there's always those fucking trains. Oh my god, they're the worst. In the winter you're freezing, in the summer you're sweating. I swear, I take off the shirt when I get home. It's just water. It's just water for 1 hour riding the train. It's crazy. It's the worst. Come on. I mean, are you telling me about the trams in Warsaw that needs to be replaced? Come on. What the hell? I mean, how long can you stay in a tram anyway? I mean, the maximum route is probably like 40 minutes. Not even that, probably. Yeah, so.
That actually makes me less worried about the fact that Edmonton chose Hyundai for their new trams on their Western Light Rail route. If a tram is good enough for Warsaw, it's probably good enough for any city. Another interesting thing to note, newer tram lines in Warsaw often use crossovers rather than using loops to turn the trams around, which is something that a city like Toronto could learn a lot from, to keep the size of terminus stations down, but also to just see that you can have multiple different types of vehicles in your fleet again. Of course, the whole reason I created this video was to talk about the Metro. And it's actually a really young system. It didn't start operating until 1995. But it's been quite impressive how consistently the system has grown, a couple stations at a time, every couple of years until the present. Which is exactly how you should expand a transit system if you want it to be cost effective. Avoid mega projects, incremental improvement. Ridership has also been growing steadily, and if the Warsaw Metro was in the United States today, it would be the second most used rapid transit system in the country, despite having just 2 lines and being entirely underground. But it's not actually the ridership or the impressive growth of the system that impresses me the most. It's the smaller things. The Warsaw Metro has great integration between trams and metro, but without breaking the bank, which is something that Toronto, a city which also often has good integration, could learn a lot from. In Warsaw, typically the approach to integrating trams with metro is less tram tunnels and more conveniently located subway entrances directly off the tram platform with wide staircases. There's even typically multiple entrances so that people from either tram track and platform can board without crossing the street. Another feature that I really appreciate are these stations. They're not over the top, there's not multiple giant pavilion buildings, most entrances are simply a staircase from the street, and yet the simple designs are still very attractive. And probably more importantly in this age of incredibly expensive transit, cost effective. And of course, since it's a modern system, you
How much does it cost?
have 6-car long modern metro trains, mostly with 750 volt DC bottom contact.
Probably gonna be like one euro to 150. Guess it's gonna be cheaper than here in Italy, right? Probably. Yes, I remember in Prague was actually. I mean, I keep referring to Prague because it's the closest to Warsaw, probably, no. So yeah, it was like one euro for one ride, I think. Even in the metro. But the metro, as I said, it wouldn't take you many places, so.
Third rail. I say this because the Warsaw Metro has this mix of incredibly old Soviet-era cars, which are super retro, and then really nice modern Siemens Metro cars, and also ones from Skoda. Now, I can't comment about the reliability of Skoda's Metro trains, but they look really, really nice. And I can actually say generally, Skoda's new vehicles, from their trams to their trains, all look really good. I can't speak to their reliability, but they look good. Now, if you expected me to only sing Warsaw's praises, I do have some criticisms. Like any system, the metro isn't perfect, and the walk from the central train station to the central metro stations, there are 2 because the train station is kind of located in the corner that is formed by the 2 metro lines, are about half a kilometer, which is a really long way to walk with a—
Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me right now? Half a kilometer is a really walk, bro. He's too American or Canadian. I mean, bro, are you kidding me? Half a kilometer is such a long walk. Bro, come on. You gotta get out of your house a little more. I mean, I never go out of my house. Yeah, I mean, I just go out to walk. I always walk about 7 to 8 kilometers a day. Half a kilometer, that's nothing. That's probably like a 5 minutes walk. Not even that. What the hell? How is that even a complaint? Oh my god. I mean, this video is perfect, but I don't agree with this. I mean, I guess it's perfect to me. I don't know.
the bag, for example. That being said, on the whole,
Even
Warsaw
with the
has
bag,
really
it's not
good
much.
public transportation, and I can only imagine that with a few more lines, which are planned, a few more new trams, which are coming, and just more bike infrastructure in general, which feels inevitable, Warsaw will be a pretty unimpeachable transit city, and that's how most cities should be. Thanks for watching.
That was a great video, but even with the bags, it's not much. Half a kilometer. Come on. if it's too much, if you feel it's too much, you need to be more active. At least. Come on. It's not good to always rely on everything being in front of you. So this was a great video. Go and check out the channel. We just reacted to RMTransit. I subscribed already. That was a great video. I want to hear more from you guys that come from Poland or Warsaw in specific, and tell me more about the tram system and the metro system. And also let me know about other cities in Poland, which infrastructures are there. Is Warsaw the only one with metro, or also Krakow and other cities? And trams, where are they in Poland? I'm too curious, so yeah, please answer me. Okay, this is it for today. See you in my next video.